On November 11, 2025, Prince Harry did something the palace had not witnessed with such calculated public exposure in generations. He published a deeply personal essay reflecting on his regrets about leaving Britain. This act was not a simple, heartfelt reflection. It was a profound transgression, exposing a raw vulnerability that simultaneously violated the sacred expectation of familial loyalty and institutional discretion. The royal family has long upheld a principle of measured public engagement, demanding that personal emotions never overshadow duty or the image of unity. Yet, here was a senior royal, now living abroad, publicly airing his homesickness and sense of exile, contravening centuries of tradition. What happened next would expose the truth that many discerning observers had suspected, but few dared articulate. The prince's departure was not merely geographic, it was a symbolic rupture, revealing the emotional and cultural fissures his actions had created within the monarchy and the public consciousness. The hook was set. How did someone so privileged destroy his reputation so completely while claiming to honor service? The prosecutorial case. Evidence accumulation records show that in early November 2025, Harry released his Veterans Day essay, highlighting his genuine pride in service and his distinct longing for the unique British military culture, the camaraderie of the mess, clubhouses, pub banter and football stands that make us British. Photographs from his past military deployments, juxtaposed against his current American residence, emphasized a stark contrast between identity and physical location. The evidence clearly shows that this was not a casual, spontaneous reflection. This was a deliberate narrative, crafted to evoke empathy, assert his British identity, and simultaneously underscore his physical and symbolic separation from the institution he once served. The pattern becomes clear when examining the chronology. The essay alternated between expressions of pride, homesickness, and veiled criticism of the distance, strategically interspersed with references to British traditions. This duality, this careful blend of tribute and self-promotion, deepened the moral violation. What many had suspected was confirmed. The essay was both homage and a subtle assertion of personal agency, a calculated tension between service and self-interest. Why would someone with enduring access to the monarchy choose to publicly express such a destabilizing sentiment and publicly mourn a life he consciously left behind? Friends, if you don't mind, subscribe to the channel. It means a lot, and it keeps our little circle growing. Thank you. All right, let's go back to what happened. Observers pointed out that each reference to military culture served to anchor his British identity externally while highlighting his self-imposed exile. According to sources close to the essay's publication, staff were instructed on the precise timing and framing of media dissemination, ensuring that the narrative would reach both national and international audiences simultaneously. This strategy confirms a pattern of deliberate, calculated engagement designed to evoke sympathetic attention while subtly questioning his separation. What wasn't reported at the time was how calculated these choices were, connecting personal experience with strategic narrative management. Why engineer vulnerability so precisely? By November 12th, betrayal markers became evident. Friends and insiders noted that the essay, while framed as homage to service, also implicitly criticized the constraints and expectations of the royal family, suggesting that the prince felt constrained by traditions he once revered. Photographs juxtaposing royal events he missed with his public statements highlighted a growing distance. This was not mere nostalgia. This was a pattern of defiance and isolation. Those who had defended Harry publicly fell silent as the internal consequences of this deviation became clear. Those close to the situation tried to warn him. Advisors and close associates cautioned against publishing reflections that could be interpreted as criticism or betrayal. Yet the prince made a deliberate choice to sidestep counsel and ignore established guidance. Records indicate private engagements in the US at the same period that contradicted the claimed periods of isolation, suggesting a duality, public remorse paired with carefully managed visibility abroad. This is where the contrast with the Prince and Princess of Wales becomes essential. Public appearances by William and Kate demonstrated precise adherence to protocol and coordinated messaging. In contrast, Harry's essay, while eloquent, highlighted tension between personal desire and familial loyalty. What becomes undeniable is that even in public acts meant to convey honor, the Duke maintained distance from the institution, a deviation from decorum not seen in his brother's conduct. The discerning viewer will notice the microaggressions. Body language experts noted tension in his press interactions, and his posture and gaze suggested deference to memory rather than to living royal authority. The ultimate manipulation was the timing. The essay was released precisely when public attention would be on reflection, remembrance, and national pride, maximizing its emotional impact and creating a calculated intersection of personal narrative and institutional pressure. Connect these three moments: strategic timing, the omission of specific charities, and the disregard for counsel, and the pattern of calculated defiance is unmistakable. Those who questioned Harry from the beginning, who trusted their instincts about his selective disengagement, were right. The reversal: public judgment and systematic collapse. At the 35% mark, the reversal phase intensified as public sentiment shifted from empathy to judgment. The turning point was subtle but systematic. Headlines across the UK noted both empathy and critique, with poll data reflecting a nuanced public perception shift. A 15-point drop in perceived sincerity within the first 48 hours, alongside increasing commentary from veteran communities questioning authenticity. Headlines transitioned from Prince Harry honours veterans to Royal absentee questions duty. Sympathy transformed into critical scrutiny. Reality delivered its verdict. Actions, even if heartfelt, carry institutional consequences. The unravelling accelerated. Public opinion shifted subtly as media outlets contrasted his expressed longing with prior decisions to relocate and step back from duties. Social platforms and commentators dissected every paragraph, analysing references to nostalgia, pride, and exile. The quantified fall became undeniable. Scheduled podcast promotions saw declining engagement. Invitations to certain commemorative events were withdrawn. The loss of status was visible. Photographs confirmed absence from gatherings attended by other family members. The failed narrative control was evident when allies began going silent. Platforms and organizations once supportive demonstrated cautious distancing, highlighting the tangible consequences of publicized separation. Friends, if you don't mind, subscribe to the channel. It means a lot, and it keeps our little circle growing. Thank you. All right, let's go back to what happened. The constant undercurrent of personal grievance, instead of unifying service, created a growing sense of betrayed expectation among loyal observers. The unredeemed moment cemented the moral certainty. A critical opportunity for reconciliation appeared in early February, when Harry could have acknowledged institutional guidance and reframed his essay to emphasize ongoing allegiance. Instead, he consciously prioritized personal narrative over mitigation, doubling down on expressions of longing and emotional authenticity. Grace was offered, and it was explicitly refused. This choice illustrates that the transgressor chose their fate, preserving the audience's belief in a just world system. Consequences came not through deliberate punishment, but through the natural erosion of respect and trust. The revelation, vindication, cascade, and dopamine payload. What becomes clear when examining the essay, prior communications and public appearances together, is the underlying motive: preservation of personal brand and narrative control, despite estrangement and prior controversy. This was not a series of mistakes. This was a deliberate pattern of calculation. The common thread is a persistent prioritization of self-narrative over institutional duty, a subtle but pervasive pattern of manipulation. Fact A: repeated narrative emphasis on British identity. Fact B: documented physical and ceremonial absence. Fact C: selective media engagements designed to maintain a favorable image. These three facts together reveal a deliberate strategy of narrative control designed to maintain prestige without fulfilling responsibility. The moral law violated is now undeniable. What the Duke failed to understand is that respect cannot be demanded. It is earned through service, humility, and unwavering duty. The Crown does not serve individuals. Individuals serve the Crown. This is not tradition for tradition's sake. This is the accumulated wisdom of centuries. Humility is not weakness. Arrogance is. Duty transcends personal longing, always. His choice to publish personal regrets publicly while expressing allegiance illustrates a tragic complexity, but the outcome is simple. Failure to align personal emotion with institutional expectation results in isolation and scrutiny. Tribal vindication has arrived. Those who questioned Harry's motivations from the beginning, who trusted their instincts about his selective disengagement, who saw the warning signs that others dismissed as jealousy or exaggeration, have been vindicated by the unfolding of events. You were right. Your suspicions were justified. You saw what others missed. The mask finally fell, exposing the choice to prioritize self over institution, and confirming that those initial warnings were not only valid but understated. The evidence now allows us to state clearly what media hesitated to say. The prince's journey was not one of forced exile, but one of calculated self-interest cloaked in the language of service. Closure, moral certainty and addiction. Hook. The moral summary is clear. Event demonstrates that institutions endure because they honor principles larger than any individual. Arrogance, when it challenges the foundations of duty and tradition, will always meet the same consequence. Those who challenge these principles with public exposition, even with professed integrity or nostalgia, face scrutiny, isolation, and judgment, leading to the erosion of influence and trust. But the final chapter may not be written. Recent reports suggest that further reflections, public statements, or memoir revelations may emerge, potentially reshaping perception once again and further testing loyalties. The question that remains unanswered is whether future disclosures will be an attempt at genuine reconciliation, or if the prior pattern of estrangement and self-focus will dictate enduring consequence. Only time will reveal whether sincerity can overcome years of accumulated mistrust. What happens next will depend on personal choices, public perception, and institutional response. The brain cannot tolerate this incomplete pattern. These observations are drawn from publicly available essays, published interviews, dated photographs, polls, and expert analyses, including staff accounts and media reports. Viewers are encouraged to verify independently and form their own conclusions. The truth, as always, reveals itself to those patient enough to observe. And if you love royal surprises, click on the video on your screen. That's the next chapter, and you won't believe what they did.